Happy Wednesday. We are back here with our good friend Lucy Greer making a wonderful side dish today.
Yes, we are getting ready for Easter. It is hard to believe it is right around the corner, so I thought that we could make a really unique side dish if anybody is starting to plan their meals.
Yeah, now you are chopping up some Brussels sprouts over here. This rice is something that I've never seen before. We've got fruits, veggies, some savory spices in there, and stock, a whole lot of stuff.
Yes, it is a perfect mix of sweet and savory, which I love in a dish, and you really just don't see it often. And when I was trying to think of something that's unique for Easter, you know, a lot of people of course do ham, and rice and gravy usually shows up at everybody's holiday meals, but I thought, hey, let me do a really bright and fun rice, and it's super simple. So I just have a pot, and I just started with a couple tablespoons of olive oil in here. And I have the heat on high because we want to put some really nice color on these mushrooms. So this is just going to take a few minutes to get some color on these. And at this point, I don't want to put any salt and pepper on them, because a little tip on mushrooms, you know, often when you put them in the pan and all of a sudden they just kind of, they don't get that dark color. They kind of just get, you know, kind of a dull, almost grayish. And so the tricks to avoid that are, number one, cook them over high heat, and number two, do not season them until you get that color on them, because if you put salt in there, all it's going to do is draw the moisture out of the mushrooms, and they're just going to kind of wilt.
Wow.
So this is going to help us just get a really nice, beautiful dark color on there.
And mushrooms are nice to add to any dish. Some people aren't fans, but they kind of adapt to the taste that you like add to it, right? So it's kind of like a hidden veggie in there.
It's absolutely true, and I like these cremini mushrooms, which is the baby portobello, but you could use white button mushrooms or any mushroom variety you like, or of course leave them out.
Sure.
So I'm also right now not chopping, but I'm slicing up 1 bag of Brussels sprouts, just thinly slicing, and once we get our color on those mushrooms, then we're going to add these to the pot and just let them go just for a minute. We're just going to take that initial raw out of it, and then these Brussels sprouts are going to wilt up when we add the rice and cook it.
All right, guys, it's a rice that you have never seen before. I'm telling you, I'm so excited to try this. We've got fruits, veggies, all kinds of good stuff in there. We'll be right back with our good friend Lucy from Greer's.
We are back in the kitchen with Lucy from Greer's. Easter is coming up. You may be getting a family dinner, brunch, get together, and you want to have some side dishes, and not always the main dish. You want to have some good sides too.
Absolutely. It's always about the sides as well. They should not be overlooked. So we are making a really unique wild rice dish today, and I started out with 8 ounces of mushrooms, and I was talking to Chelsea about them. See, we've got a beautiful dark brown color on there. We didn't season them, so we didn't draw any of that moisture out. We just got a nice saute on them, and I really thinly sliced up 1 bag of Brussels sprouts, and this is all in about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So it took about 5 minutes for those mushrooms to brown up, and now I just wanted to get these Brussels sprouts coated in our olive oil before we add our rice. So I like to take a shortcut on rice. I just love this wild rice mix. So I'm just going to use 2 boxes of this Uncle Ben's. But of course you can do, you know, whatever rice you want. This comes with a seasoning packet in it, and I'm going to add that.
You know, you can spend a lot of time trying to find the perfect wild rice, but the Uncle Ben's is pretty good. I agree with you there.
It is, and you know, I mean, it's just simple. It's readily available. You can find it, and there are 2 different kinds. Now, this is the quick cooking. It takes 10 minutes to cook, but we're doubling it, so it's going to take a little bit longer than 10 minutes. But there also is a different one. So just, you know, whichever one you buy is fine. And if you really want it to be quick, they even have the microwavable ones now.
Yeah.
And
I haven't tried that yet.
I love those bags, especially for the kids. When I'm trying to feed them something quick, and they like rice, so I like to do that. So I'm going to put that in there, and then we're going to add 3.5 cups. This is 4 cups. I'm just going to do 3.5 cups of chicken broth. And we are just going to let this come to a boil, turn it down to simmer, and this is going to take, I'm going to put the lid on, and this is going to take about, you know, 20 minutes or so to cook. So just until, you know, of course it's cooked. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of pepper. We don't need any salt because we have everything we need in our spice packet that we use. So after we let this rice cook, we're gonna add a lot of other yummy flavors.
How'd you come up with this recipe?
I don't know. My mom, you know, I didn't really even realize that Easter was so close. And she said, oh, you should probably start doing some Easter recipes on TV, on your segments. I was like, oh. And so I just thought, you know, what's something different? And I was like, gosh, we're in spring. And I just really wanted to feature some fresh produce and some beautiful colors. And just kind of came to me. We're going to do a yummy topping. Coconut always, I think about Easter.
Yeah.
And so what I already did over here was I toasted 3/4 of a cup of these sliced almonds and 3/4 of a cup. This is shredded coconut that is unsweetened, so it doesn't have the sugar on it. So I just toasted this, and we're going to top the rice when it's all done. So it's going to be a lot of great textures going on too.
Like the late great comedian Mitch Hedberg once said, rice is good when you want to eat 1,000 of something. So we have that option for you for Easter coming up. We'll be back with Lucy from Greer's to finish up this fantastic side dish. Welcome back into the kitchen with Lucy from Greer's. We are finishing up the perfect Easter side dish. It is a wild rice mix like you may have never seen before. This is quite the recipe, Lucy.
Yeah, this is a really fun and unique recipe that would look so pretty on everybody's Easter table. Over in this pot, we have started with 8 ounces of mushrooms that we sauteed, and we thinly sliced some Brussels sprouts, and we added 2 boxes of our Uncle Ben's wild rice mix along with the seasoning packets. And we added chicken broth instead of water to cook this rice. And as you can see, it's perfectly cooked and still hot. So now we are going to add 1 cup of fresh blueberries in there. And these are going to soften up and kind of burst. And now I'm also going to add our chopped up oranges. I just took the segments out of an orange, or you could do 2, or use cuties, or use a jar of mandarin oranges. And this is the inside, so I'm just going to get a little extra of that juice in there.
A little squeeze.
A little squeeze, and also I have 2 green onions that I just thinly sliced. So this is going to brighten up our dish, and it's just a great combination of sweet and savory, and it's so pretty, and it just reminds me of spring with that bright green in there, and the pop of citrus. And we talked about our topping that we already did that is going to add a really nice crunch to this, and there's a lot of different textures going on. So I took 3/4 cup of sliced almonds and 3/4 cup of unsweetened coconut flakes, and I just toasted those up. I just did it in a dry skillet just for a few minutes until that coconut begins to toast, and it brings such great flavor out of the nuts and the coconut. Or you put it on a sheet pan and just run it in the oven for a few minutes. So you just plate this up and top it, and all you want to do right now after we added the fruit was I just have it on very low heat, and really the heat could be turned off. You don't want to necessarily cook those blueberries too long and you know, let them go to smithereens, but at this point it is ready to serve.
All right, so that's ready to serve. When people are making their plans for Easter and trying to figure out what's going to be on the menu and all that kind of stuff, you can help them with everything from side dishes to entrees to desserts and all that.
Absolutely. We have a wonderful Easter ad that is out that broke today, and you can find that at Greers.com. You can find it on our Facebook. If you don't want to go in the store, we can absolutely shop for you. Of course, we have curbside and delivery options. So we certainly wish everybody a happy Easter, and our stores will be closed on Easter Sunday.
Okay.
So just to let everybody know, so get everything you need from now until Saturday, and we just want all of our team members to be able to enjoy Easter with their families.
Well, happy Easter to everybody out there. Make your plans now to get your stuff from Greer's for your Easter Sunday meal, whatever that may be. Lucy, happy Easter to you as well.
Happy Easter. Thank you.